Could you actually imagine how much it must cost to have a proper 90s pop band perform at your waterfall stage wedding? That's money we could only dream about on that song from that movie. Who are you going to call?
Ghostbusters?
Yeah, but we don't talk about that version.
Oh, I see.
Thank you for joining that song from that movie, the journey through the very best and worst of movie songs. I am your, on ITV2, more often than Love Island, host Dietrich. And, as always, joining me on this episode is the It, which is coming out of her like lava, Alex.
And I'll be coming out of your ears like a lot? No, that doesn't work. Move on.
And we're also joined by the man who's slightly overcommitted on the whole dog thing. Turns out he's probably more comfortable with, 6. Ben.
I don't have many dogs. If it was up to my wife, we would have many dogs. We have 2 dogs, and I am fighting daily to keep it at that.
I would like to know, in the past fortnight, what have you been watching?
Cha-cha-cha.
Hey. Should I just start things off by saying Lord of the Rings, The Rings of Power? Have we watched it?
Oh, yeah. Yep.
I've not watched it yet, no.
Wait, how many episodes? I watched 2 episodes. I don't know how many are out.
3 episodes are out.
Okay.
What are your thoughts on the first 2 without spoilers, obviously?
It feels very cinematic.
Yeah?
I don't know where it's going. It feels like it's going nowhere. I liked it the opening. I feel like I'm going to enjoy the show, and then after the second episode, I'm like, am I? So that's where I'm at.
Yeah. I feel like I'm the same. I saw a tweet that perfectly summed it up for me, which is, I'm watching Lord of the Rings. I'm enjoying everything about it, but I couldn't tell you a single thing that's happening or what's enjoyable about it.
Yep.
Other than the fact it looks incredible.
It does look good.
It's very much like how you describe my experience of watching the film, so really don't really know much of what's going on. Enjoying it nonetheless.
And it looks incredible.
It looks incredible.
It does.
Even still.
Yep. It's pretty impressive, isn't it, for a film franchise that's 20 years old. But Starship
Yeah.
Troopers is 30 years old, and that's even better.
What have you guys watched then?
Topically, I watched the film The Queen.
I've never seen it.
I didn't really know anything about it, but it sort of just covers that period, that week after Diana died. And it's interesting. The depiction of Tony Blair is probably the most interesting thing about it, because it's kind of
Who plays Tony Blair?
It's Michael Sheen, and
Okay.
it's kind of like, the casting in the film is actually really good. You see him as Tony Blair, you're like, yeah, I can see it. It's just an interesting portrait. I don't want to ruin it for anybody, and I don't want to spark the whole
Spoilers, the Queen
monarchy
dies.
versus Republican debate. Yeah, but yeah, it's just an interesting take on the whole situation.
Is there a reason, has some sort of agreement been released that allows everyone to just make 1,000 Diana films? Because I feel like there's just non-stop Diana films at the moment.
It was the 25th anniversary, though, wasn't it, this year?
Was it?
Yes, I think so.
Have you seen The King?
I've seen The King's Speech.
With Timothy Chalamet, maybe?
No, I've not seen that.
Oh.
I mean, mainly all I've been doing is following the "Don't Worry, Darling" drama, because
Who's spitting on who next?
Chris Pine's a saint.
This opportunity. Have you seen the clip? I can't get over it. It's terrible, utterly terrible acting.
I do enjoy the thing where it's like Chris Pine is like a Harvard-educated
Is he?
doctorate. So it was something like that, and it was
He also went to Leeds University. Did you know that?
Oh, did he? I didn't know
did.
that.
He did do a year at Leeds Uni.
Well, the thing I enjoyed was, here he is, having to sit there, and all he's hearing is Harry Styles saying things like, my favourite part of the movie is that it feels like a movie.
It really feels like a movie.
Yeah.
One of them films.
Followed
from
by
the cinema.
seals clapping.
You watched all, Ben?
I've been catching up with all the Marvel films that I have not seen and then being whelmed and realising I don't know why I'm watching these now. As I relayed to you yesterday, or this week.
Yes, you did. Secret message outside. We know Alex involved.
Yeah, we know how much he hates Marvel. Everything related to him. Captain Marvel, the word Marvel, Marvelous Medicine, whatever his name is.
George.
George and his
George's
Marvelous Medicine. Yeah, hates George.
Okay, so this episode we are celebrating the upcoming nuptials of Lillian by heading on a bachelorette party with Wilson Phillips's Hold On from the movie Bridesmaids. So to find out what was happening in the world when the movie came out,
Time for some history.
I'm taking you back to May 2011, and this week I actually remembered to say when it is. So a mysterious blogger going by the name of Teacher Wang causes mass panic in Taiwan after declaring a magnitude 14 earthquake was going to hit the island on May 11th. So this wasn't long after the tsunami in Japan, so the tension was quite high in the area. The blogger explained the island would be separated in two and at least millions would die, which I thought was an odd phrasing.
At least millions.
But don't worry though, the blogger has a plan on how you can survive.
Go.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone should go and buy a recently converted shipping container, which should be able to survive anything that happens on the island.
And was he conveniently selling these?
How did you guess, Alex?
It's actually what
A police investigation found that he'd been conspiring with a shipping container company to sell off old shipping containers.
Brilliant.
I think the thing I've learned from this is that in 2011, bloggers were still relevant.
Bloggers, yeah.
Is it Perez Hilton? Was that guy? I always remember him.
Yeah.
Apparently he was famous for something.
Being mean.
Was that it? I thought it was just a similar name.
In other news, it's all change on the X Factor. Simon Cowell announces that him and Cheryl Cole are leaving to launch the US version of the show, whilst Danny Minogue would also leave to become the host of Australia's Got Talent, leaving little old Louis Walsh all by himself to make racist comparisons of black singers.
And many more things.
Fear not though, Alex. The almost dream team of the absolutely fantastic Gary Barlow, Kelly Rowland and Tulisa Kontostavlos was recruited to fill the void. So not quite the glory days of the X Factor when Nicole Scherzinger joined, but we're almost there.
It was an amazing performance.
Do you remember who won that year?
Matt Cardle.
So was this before Nicole Scherzinger, did you say?
Yeah, the year before. And it wasn't Matt Cardle, no.
Oh, so I was going to say Matt Cardle, but I think Matt Cardle was the one after, wasn't it? Who would it have been? Alexandra Burke.
It was Little Mix.
Was she before? Little Mix.
Yeah, Matt Cardle was the year before.
Remix as they were known.
Rhythmix,
damn it. Rhythmix.
And finally, last piece of news. The world of wrestling, it's in mourning due to the untimely death of the Macho Man, the one and only Randy Savage. The article I found about his death said, and I quote, Randy Savage is best known for his role as professional wrestler in Spider-Man.
I was going to say, that's what I was going to... He's starting with a film we've covered already.
Have you watched that Inhaling Randy Savage quote on YouTube? It actually makes me sick.
In memory then, do you want to give us... Alex, do you want to give us your best Macho Man impression?
Yeah. Wasn't his catchphrase just... Oh, yeah.
That was pretty good. Bonesaw is ready.
I posted it on our WhatsApp group. You need to watch it at some point. You don't watch it all. You literally need to listen to... I say you don't need to watch it all. It's 14 seconds long. There's an interview with Randy Savage where they've cut it just so it's the inhales of breath. Is that the advert? Is that an advert?
That's an advert before.
Just listen to it.
Oh, God. Move on.
It's enough to get me to the boiling point!
It's the face after the end as well is amazing.
It's no wonder he was unwell.
Enough to get me to the boiling point.
And also in the month of May 2011 was the release of the hit comedy movie Bridesmaids. It's not going to follow that. Bridesmaids was directed by Paul Feig and was written by Annie Mumolo and Kristen Wiig. God, there's a lot of confusing surnames here, lots of I's and O's. So Kristen Wiig is also leading the movie. So like all good comedy movies, the premise is very simple. Annie is a down-on-her-luck single woman who is tasked by her best friend to be her maid of honour. Hilarity ensues. So now before I get into the nitty-gritty fully, I want to hear what you think about the movie. So, fire away.
I really like this film.
Cool.
I just think it's very good. I think what I really like about it is kind of like it's got all the best parts about comedy films. Like it's got great set piece scenes, like the part on the plane, which is just hilarious. kind of like gross out comedy moments, but then it has like real truth about adulthood and the difficulties of navigating adult life and competition with peers, and how it's very easy to kind of get in your own way with things, and how things can become more awkward between long-standing friendships and stuff. I just think it's got all the best things about comedy, but it also has this kind of depth to it underneath as well that kind of really speaks to a universal truth, I guess. So I just think it's got everything. I just think it's really good. And it's got John Hamm in it, which is great as well.
Uncredited.
He's brilliant. Is he uncredited? Wow.
He's uncredited.
What a great moment.
What about you, Ben?
Yeah, I do really enjoy this film. I also hate that scene, that particular obvious grotesque scene.
Yes.
I don't know why, it just, yeah. But I don't like that it might stand out because of that, because I think a lot of people do remember it for that one particular scene. I think, like Alex said, I think a lot of it is the almost comedic setups, and the gags are built on a very good bed of narrative and character development and strong relationships that are believable, and that's what works. And I think that's why I don't think it actually does a lot different from like a lot of other films that are probably worse. I think it just earns the setup. It doesn't feel like the gags are like it is kind of gone round the table and like, oh, this will be funny. Oh, this will be funny. There's a narrative, there's a through line where it seems to all make sense, and they maybe only just slightly veer off for for a bit of a gag or a comedic double up, but it still feels like you're going a set way. It's not just like, oh, and now we put them in this place and there's going to be a funny thing for this. I'm trying to think of films that do that poorly, that have tried to. I think films like that have done it well, that are of this mold, are like Girls Trip did it very well, Booksmart did it very well. The scenes could be taken and isolated and enjoyable and very funny, but it still feeds a narrative, and there's still like relationship building or tensions coming from those scenarios, not just, oh, and then the next scene happens and everything's fine and it was as if it never happened, which I think a lot of other comedies do. And I think it did help that Kristen Wiig and Maya Rudolph were already friends before this on Saturday Night Live, because you can tell, because that relationship is very good, and I think everything's built on it. Alongside, I don't like Melissa McCarthy, but she is very, very funny in this. It also had Chris O'Dowd, attempting his Hollywood breakthrough, and then that was it.
Back to the IT crowd for you.
Back to the IT crowd, the only thing you will ever be known for, sorry. But yeah, I do enjoy it.
Oh, I'm glad, because I do echo the same sentiments. I really do enjoy this film. Though it took me a long time to actually sit down and watch it.
I'm the same.
I remember when it came out, the prevailing notion was that, it's even on the poster, it says, chick flicks don't have to suck.
Yeah.
Which kind of got my back up, because this was released in a post-Mean Girls world.
Yeah, that's what. I was thinking like that. I was like, oh, did this break you through? I was like, no, Mean Girls was well before this.
Yeah, so we'd already had this amazing quote-unquote chick flick. So Bridesmaids was being pitched to me as like this genre-redefining movie, which had already been redesigned. And eventually I watched it, thoroughly enjoyed it. I mean, I'm 31 years old and I love a good vomiting, shit and gag. It's good. It's always going to land for me, and it definitely delivers on that front. So it scores well for me.
I think what's interesting about it as well is, like, you mentioned Mean Girls there, and I was thinking, like, I don't know if you guys have seen Easy A, but that's also kind of like a good example of like that kind of film that works well. But both of those are kind of like aimed at a teenage audience, and you have films like Clueless and stuff as well, like from the 90s, which kind of fill that void. But they're all aimed at teenagers. The thing interesting about this is, like, it's kind of aimed at an older generation, isn't it? It's kind of aimed at people maybe in their like mid-20s to like 30s, and it kind of, I think that's kind of why the story works so well, like maybe when we saw it, because I guess we were kind of in that post-school world where all of a sudden you're like thrust into having to be an adult, and your friends have like got other friends now who, you know, have come out of nowhere and have like affecting their lives, and that's kind of exactly what happens in the story, isn't it? That it's like, it just feels very like the experience that everybody has in that kind of period of their life is that really kind of works well, just from a basic narrative point of view, and then the comedy feeds it.
Yeah, massively. I think it was compared a lot to The Hangover at the time, because I guess of the premise, and The Hangover came out 2 years before. Like, it did very, very well. And I think there's that comparison, even though this film is far superior. Although, if you ask 16-year-old Ben, I would have preferred The Hangover. And I think that's just a difference of, I guess, like, there's a lot more empathy that I can have with Bridesmaids as I've gotten older. And
I think it's definitely got more longevity than the Hangover will have.
100%.
And it helps that it doesn't have two even worse sequels.
Yeah, well, I think that's great. Of this time, I'm surprised there was never a sequel, which is great.
There was plans.
Interesting.
All of them became such big stars after this, it was really hard to get everyone back together for a film. Though I did pitch an idea for a legacy sequel, which was Awkwafina is having like a rival bachelorette party at the same time.
It feels very Bad Neighbours too.
It's money.
Awkwafina's doing very well. She doesn't need our help.
That is true. The origins of this movie date back to 2006 with Annie Maluma and Kristen Wiig, who were part of the same comedy troupe, being asked by Judd Apatow if they had any ideas for a movie. At the time, Judd Apatow said that the 40-year-old virgin came about because he just asked some improv people if they had a good idea for a film and just let them write it, so he wanted to try it again. Eventually they came back with a pitch for like a female ensemble cast-driven movie about a bachelorette party gone wrong called Maid of Honor, which is actually a pretty good name. Mm-hmm. Obviously this was 2006, so they continued to work on it whilst they were at Saturday Night Live and started making those connections, which really do show in the film.
Yeah.
Eventually Paul Feig read the script and signed on to direct, to which there is a very good quote from Paul Feig about agreeing to become the director of this movie, which is, "There was an edict from Hollywood where they were all going, okay, Paul, this is a movie starring a bunch of women. If it works, we'll greenlight more, and if it doesn't, we won't." So I was really sweating because if this movie didn't work, then I'm basically the man who killed women for an eternity. So thank God it worked.
It's interesting because, like, when you were talking, Dee, earlier about the chick flick stuff, I think, like, the whole thing I remember from when this film came out was, like, just everyone be like, oh, well, women actually can be funny in films. And it's like, yeah. I think that kind of narrative does a disservice to how good this film is. Because it's kind of like, I would just put this up there as, like, one of the best comedy films that there is, right, rather than, like, framing it in that way. And like Paul Feig just said there, that's how the industry was viewing it. It's like, well, can you even make a funny film with women? And it's like, well, yes, obviously you can. I don't know why it was ever like a converse. Like, I don't know where that conversation came from, really. So it's kind of interesting.
It is. I think it's like it's a gatekeeping thing, isn't it? Examples, say like Mean Girls, because that was Amy Poehler and Tina Fey, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Who wrote it? Yeah.
And again, they're Saturday Night Live, but I think there's almost this thing of like, oh, they've snuck through this exception to a rule. That the rule was probably made by men.
Exactly. I mean, that's clear. That's where it comes from, I guess.
And that's the thing. That's the thing, isn't it? Yeah. It's this like of like, oh, we need to make sure we put through this narrative of this is a fantastic female orientated comedy film, rather than, like you say, I'm just saying this is absolutely a brilliant comedy film. But I think it's also because it's trying to break a mold, you constantly push through like, it's a female film, it's a female led film, it's a female written film, and because of that push, because it should be applauded, it kind of breaks it away from actually it's just an absolutely brilliant film.
Yeah,
absolutely. And as per the quote from Paul Feig, the movie did work and it was a critical and financial success. Right now it has a 90% rating on Rotten Tomatoes based on 300 reviews.
It's pretty incredible.
And at the box office it made $300 million on a $30 million budget.
Wow.
The weird thing about this is how well it did to appear in the awards season. It's a proper comedy movie, not like a comedy drama or a highbrow satire like The Big Short was. But it was nominated for multiple Academy Awards.
I did not know.
Yeah, I think Melissa McCarthy was nominated, wasn't she? Was she?
Yes, so Melissa McCarthy was nominated for Best Supporting Actress. She also was nominated for like a Golden Globe and a BAFTA as well. And he was also nominated for Best Screenplay. It didn't win either of them, but the fact, like, what is essentially like an out-and-out comedy movie, I can't get over like an actual just comedy movie being nominated for an Academy Award that doesn't involve someone that died recently.
And as well, like, someone from a comedy film was nominated for an acting role as well, not just kind of like screenplay. Because, like, comedy films do sometimes get nominated for screenplays, don't they? Because of, like, you know, the difficulty of writing comedy is clearly, like, appreciated by the Academy, I suppose. Well, not probably appreciated enough, but to an extent. But to see an acting performance that is purely comedy is kind of odd.
Wasn't Robert Downey Jr. nominated for Tropic Thunder, like, just before this?
Was he?
Yeah, I'm pretty.
Really?
I swear, there's something I've seen it going around on the internet. Let me just look this up before I expunge this on the internet, because it is, especially for that performance. Best Supporting Actor 2009. Let me just check this. 2008, he was nominated for his performance of Kirk Lazarus for Tropic Thunder.
Oh my god!
The dude playing the dude disguised as another dude. But yeah, it's rare. I think he's still, and like, films like Juno or something like that, that's kind of like quirky comedy, or Little Miss Sunshine, they get nominated, but not just, this is a full-on, like, how many laughs can you put in, every few minutes? That kind of comedy. It's rare. I think Melissa McCarthy peaked at the first film she kind of was successful for. Did she get an Oscar, actually, in the end for that film?
What, Spy? No, I don't think so.
No, the one with the bloke that she was opposite got an Oscar. The typing one where she like
Russell E. Grant.
Russell E. Grant, yeah.
Richard E. Grant, sorry. Yeah, I've seen that film. It is a good film, actually. I'm trying to remember what it's called, though. It's where she plays like someone who forges letters, literary letters. It is a really good film, actually.
Oh, not the one with Jason Bateman where she forges her identity. Identity theft.
The identity thief. I mean, the film, it's called Spy. The one with Jason Statham in it. It's really good as well.
Is that another Paul Feig?
It might be.
It is possible.
Kevin Feige?
It's not Kevin Feige.
But I think, that actually was good. But I think she was in, like, immediately after this, she was in so many films, wasn't she? But I mean, I remember her from being in Gilmore Girls, so.
Well, very few people do, Alex, so you can keep that one to yourself.
So moving on to the songs, there is quite a bit of music in the movie, but they all pale in significance to the song we're going to concentrate on today, and that is Hold On by Wilson Phillips. So the song appears multiple times throughout the movie before eventually, and probably most memorably, being performed by Wilson Phillips themselves during the wedding ceremony to close the movie, with all the characters singing along, and one of my favourite lines, Maya Rudolph's father saying, "I ain't paying for this shit." As always, we'll start with getting our opinions on the song. I'd also like to know if you knew about the song before the movie came out. Go.
So, when I watched this film for the first time and the song came on the first time in it, like when you have like a smell memory and like something like triggers in your brain and it's like you smell something and it's like all of a sudden something floods back to you that you completely forgot about. Yeah. I kind of had
a Ratatouille moment.
Yeah, well, I kind of had that with this, in that I heard it and I knew all of the words, but I don't know where I know the song from.
It's on your jukebox, probably.
Well, I don't. Yeah, it's like that. Is maybe my mum used to record her own self singing songs on tape and play them in the car. I was like, was it one of those?
Did she actually?
She did do that, yeah.
How did I not know this about you? I've known you for like almost 30 years.
She loves karaoke. So I was like, was it one of those? I knew the full song. Didn't know who it was by. Didn't have any other knowledge of why I knew it, but I just knew it. So that was weird. I really like the song. I did a lot of research into the song when I first heard it because I was like trying to figure out where I knew it from. So I kind of know a bit about the band, but I don't want to take your notes, Steve.
I don't have much about the band, in fairness.
Well, I think the only thing I was going to say is that, this might ruin notes, is that they are the daughters of the Beach Boys, aren't they?
Oh, are they? I did not know
that. They are,
that.
yeah. They are. That's how they. That's why they. That's how.
Oh, as in Brian Wilson.
As in Brian Wilson, yeah. So that's why they're called Wilson Phillips.
The Wilson sisters.
The three of them are the daughters of the Beach Boys, I believe. That's true.
So where's the Phillips?
I think that. Yeah.
One of the surnames is Phillips. It's two Wilsons.
Oh, so that's their name. It's two Wilsons and Phillips.
It's Wilson's Phillips.
Yeah.
Phillips. Yeah. So I knew that, but only from doing a lot of research at the time, trying to figure out why I knew the song. But what a song! What a song! And what a scene as well, by the way.
Yeah.
The wedding scene. And like you said, Dee, about Kristen Wiig and Maya Rudolph's like relationship really comes through in like when they're mouthing the song to each other during this kind of scene.
Puts a smile on your face, that.
Yeah.
They look like best friends.
There's a skeptic in me that they knew they could get Wilson Phillips because of their lack of success, which is why this is the song in the film.
Yeah.
Like they've worked backwards. Like we need someone because we want that big number, where whatever the other friend has obviously one-upsmanship again, tried to get get them in. They've obviously worked backwards. So they've had to rule out a lot of other great power ballads because, we can't get Chesney Hawkes, we can't get
Bonnie Tyler.
So busy. Yeah, we've had to go for Wilson Phillips, but it does work. The song is great. Very much like Alex, I haven't got a clue how I know the song, but I knew the song. Maybe not every word, but as soon as the chorus kicks in, the harmonies are fantastic. It just feels well earned. It feels like a great crescendo moment. The setup of it is fantastic, but it just feels like a nice little bow on at the end.
Absolutely.
We talked about a lot of songs that either just get thrown into the credits or are like background songs, but this one's like front and center, like into the narrative, really celebratory.
Yeah, and I guess probably never going to do the episode. Have you seen This Is the End?
Yes.
I feel like the ending of that film borrows heavily from this by just going, but a band we've referenced all movie, let's just get them to perform at the end.
Yep.
with the Backstreet Boys.
Yes. Yeah. I mean,
It is a great scene.
It is a great scene. Isn't just followed by the Channing Tatum's as the little bitch.
Yeah.
Which is work. They also worked backwards from that. In like they just said, "Who could we get to be a bitch?" And they're like, "Yeah, Channing Tatum will do it." half an hour's role of just I'm just gonna be tied to a chain.
I'm glad that you guys enjoy this song, because I can also say that I love this song. I was personally aware of this song before I'd seen Bridesmaids, and I knew it. So maybe this might help you both remember where you remember it from, because it's the song that Harold and Kumar sing to each other in the car.
Wow.
Like where they're trying to pretend that they're not interested, and by the end of the journey, they're singing it to each other.
Great trope.
Whilst pretending to do the drums. Yeah. So, and the reason why I remembered that scene is because I remember watching an episode of Top of the Pops 2 where Wilson Phillips was performing, and I went, oh, that's the song from Harold and Kumar.
That could actually answer the question, D, because I watched that film a lot.
If you just Google "Hold On, Harold and Kumar," it's like so many people uploaded that clip. It's a very popular moment in a otherwise amazing film.
I thought you were going to go somewhere else with that.
Yeah, I went for the bait and switch there.
Yeah, I like it.
It's a great legacy for Wilson Phillips. Like, this is like a double that song from that movie.
Yeah.
They've got Bridesmaids fans and Harold and Kumar fans. And I guess Top of the Pops 2 fans as well.
Yeah, of which there are many.
There is a lot. It trends on Twitter every time it's on TV.
It does.
And what I also remember about this song, outside of the film, is I remember it coming on at a Christmas party once, and I was singing along, as you do. And I remember someone coming up to me I worked with and saying, I wouldn't have thought you'd watch Bridesmaids. To which I was confused, because at this point I hadn't seen Bridesmaids, and I didn't know the song was in Bridesmaids. Yeah, I was confused by that, and also sort of just taken aback with like the absolute character assassination this person had just laid upon me. Apparently, when I was, 22, 23, I just exuded toxic masculinity with my ripped gym bod and my love of offending women. Did you hear that, audience? They laughed. They thought it was funny because they knew it was a joke.
No. I laughed at how true it was.
So the song was originally released in February of 1990, which is a great year to be born, and is vaguely based on China Phillips' experiences with Alcoholics Anonymous, essentially translating the social care program's one day at a time mantra into song lyrics, but trying to keep them as vague as possible so they could be applied to different situations that require time to heal. So it's often talked about it's about an abusive relationship or losing a loved one, but it's actually just about trying to give up alcohol for a while if you're addicted.
Nice.
At the time, though, critics weren't too hot on the song, universally being referred to as a cheesy pop song, which I think is why we all like it.
Yeah, probably.
But that didn't stop it topping the charts in America and Canada, as well as a surprise top 10 in the UK, which, according to the Wikipedia page that I'm paraphrasing at the moment, was down to their performance on Top of the Pops the week earlier. All came back around.
All time together.
It's crazy to me that Top of the Pops was so popular in the early 90s that just appearing on the show gets you into the top 10 of the charts the following week.
Power of Savile.
Fucking hell.
Yeah, he doesn't usually feature in the Top of the Pops 2.
Well, they've had to cut out like a full like 18 years of it.
Do you remember when the Tweenies did like a Top of the Pops like themed thing, and whoever the parent guardian person is in Tweenie was dressed up as Savile, and they forgot to take it out of rotation on CBeebies? Not that the kids would have known, so it wouldn't have really mattered. It was just a bit jarring. So Alex wants to talk about the music video, I believe.
I do, obviously.
And I assume you mean the actual music video, not the Bridesmaids version.
Yes, the genuine video from 1990.
Go ahead, tell us your thoughts.
What's the story behind the setting of this video? 1 minute, they're in like ice-capped mountains. The next, they're sort of in like a national park. Then they're at the beach. Then they're kind of walking down the Sunset Strip of some kind.
Yeah.
I'm confused by it. I like it. I like that it confused me. I like that it made me think. But yeah, I was confused.
It looks like only one of them got the memo that they need to be in a girl group, because one of them...
Which one?
The one with the long flowing hair for the wind machines.
Oh, yeah.
The other two don't. 80s is wind machines. Or if you can't afford wind machines, do what they've done, and you'd be either A, on a beach, or B, on a mountain, where there's going to be wind. The other two have got the sensible work, Bob. They've got a 9 to 5 cut. They've got a 9 to 5 cut.
One of them appears to be wearing like a snooker jacket.
They all seem very in fashion for nowadays.
Yeah, actually, yeah, that's true.
Those haircuts are back in.
Yeah, I've got one of them. I'll leave it up to you, listener, to decide which one.
Did you enjoy the bit at the end of the video where they start walking down the street and you can see people like turning around and trying to see where the camera is?
Yeah, it's always good when they've not been told.
Yeah. And everyone's like, who are these guys? That's what I love about it most. It's like they're walking down. I don't know where it is. I'm assuming somewhere in California, like on the beach. And like, yeah, you can tell everybody's looking like going, who are these? Who are these?
Beach Boys.
Yeah, well, I thought maybe that was the reference there, but I didn't get the connection.
They just cannot go to the beach without ever referencing their parents.
Yeah, but then why the mountains? Why the national park?
Well,
Perhaps they're referencing a certain movie about beaches.
Save that for
spoilers.
Hint, hint.
It's just a great song.
It is a great song. It's already a double, that song from that movie. This is my call to the people out there in Hollywood land. It's time to get this in another film.
Get it in there.
The noughties got one. The tenties got one. The 20s needs this song in a movie.
To take over like a full decade, like West Virginia, or whatever, it's Country Roads by John Denver. It was just in every film for like 3 years.
Yeah, can we get like a Con Air 2 and put this song in it?
Ooh,
Yeah.
God, I could see that working.
Con Air 2, yeah, where they've got to go back to prison.
Cons, or would it be Con Airs?
Con Air, yeah.
It's Con Air, but it's like H-E-I-R.
Oh, it's nice. I like that. I was thinking of more like a modern climate change spin, and it's aircon.
That's good.
Yeah, I like that too.
We could save so much money with these for these people. Come to us, Wilson Phillips. We'll make you music videos. We'll write you songs. We'll get you on top of the pops.
Top 5.
So, we often do top 5s based on films, but I thought this time, you know what? We'll base it on a song, because I was just having a browse earlier and realised that this song, Hold On, was 18th in the 100 greatest girl group songs of all time. So I'm curious, in a very, very hard choice, because this is critics' choice, and we know what bloody critics are like, but what are the top 5 girl group songs of all time?
When was the list made?
2017, I think.
Oh, okay.
And I'll give you a clue. The latest option was 96.
But Spice Girls.
What's the choice?
Wannabe.
Yep, it's number 5. Number 5. You got one more than I thought you would.
Because I was gonna say All Saints Pure Shores, but obviously not.
It's in there. It's in the top 100. It's in the top 100.
I mean,
I was going to say Independent Woman,
oh,
but
yeah.
96.
So, Survivor.
No, there is the Destiny's Child song in the top 10. It's number 7.
There
But
is.
it's not. Yes, but it's not.
Is
one
it
of those.
Bills?
No.
Pay my automobile.
Keep going. Come on.
So okay, something like Walk Like an Egyptian.
No, the song by Destiny's Child was Say My Name.
Oh, I was thinking of the songs in the top 5.
No, yeah, I know you were, but that's why I quickly let you know what that
say
was.
my name, say my name. I mean, it's also.
I love that we have renditions from Alex for everyone.
Eternal Flame. I'm just thinking of songs
Nope.
by the Bangles.
What about like Venus by Bananarama?
Ooh.
No.
Oh,
So
Have we got any British bands in here, or are they all?
you're asking me. I think these are all American. I think so. We've got the dates of them: 64, 61,
Oh, okay.
94, and 63.
It's like the Supremes.
The Supremes, yes.
Build Me Up Buttercup.
Is that Temptations?
I don't know. Guessing songs.
Where Did Our Love Go by the Supremes? Yeah.
Yeah,
Baby,
okay.
baby.
Baby. The Shirelles.
The Shirelles, well, oh, nice, Alex, number 3.
I can't remember what
Yes,
song.
will you love me tomorrow?
Okay.
Alex, you're doing very well.
So what are the other dates?
1994, 3-piece girl group.
Is 94? It's not the non-dumb blondes, or what are they called?
No.
Non-blondes?
No, 4 non-blondes.
4 non-blondes. Yeah, because I was like,
No,
is it 4 non-blondes? You said it was 3
they played Glastonbury this year. I think 2 of them, because one of them I think has passed.
Oh god! And
They
it was,
have an absolutely iconic song, which is not here for some reason. I think it's 11th in this list.
and it's from 94.
Yes.
Is it Hull?
No. The name of the band is 3 letters.
TLC.
TLC, yes. Well done,
Scrubs.
Dee. It's not.
What
It's
falls?
not Scrubs. Scrubs is 11th. It's
Is
Creep.
it Warful? Oh, Creep.
And then number 1, Alex,
So one more. What year? What year was it?
63.
63. The Ronettes.
I was going to say the Ronettes, like Be My Baby.
Yes, it is. Oh, well done, guys. Well
nice.
done, guys. Honestly, you know what? Fantastic. Well done. Perfect. Honourable mentions include On Vogue, which is 6th. Never gonna get it, never gonna get it. And the Shangri-Las, because that's an awesome song.
It's very
Well
60s
done.
centric, that wasn't it?
Yeah, well, I mean, it's critics in it. They're all stuck up their own tush. Although 14th is Fifth Harmony.
Which song?
Is it Work From Home?
It is Work From Home, which
Yeah.
my wife absolutely loves that song. How many double entendres can you fit in one song? I don't know if it's that song holds the record or Porsche by Nelly.
I mean, where were Girls Allowed in this list?
Sound of the Underground.
I mean, this might be an American list.
There should have been like all of them.
I'm quickly scrolling up. Continue, and I will let you know if any 2000s British girls groups come up.
I mean, weren't they the best ever selling girl group in the UK? Girls Aloud. I think
Girls Aloud 32.
Probably were at
Girls
the time.
Aloud 32.
What song? Sound in the Underground.
No.
Promise. The Promise.
No.
Promise
No.
I made. Promise I made.
Biology.
Oh, Biology. It's a good song. It's one of the classics.
Little Mix in there. Yep.
Where were Sugar Babes?
I'll keep going. Continue, and I'll let you know.
Right, okay. Whilst Ben continues to look, we'll move on to movie or song. So it's time to decide what is superior. The song Hold On from Harold and Kumar Go to White Castle and Bridesmaids, or the movie Bridesmaids. Alex?
I'd go out on a limb and say this is the hardest one we've had to do.
I agree, actually.
Because I just don't know which to choose.
I feel like if you lost this song from this movie, you lose a big part of this, like,
Yep.
the heart of the movie.
You do, yeah. You lose the soul.
But equally, if you lose the movie, is this song as memorable enough as that song that Harold and Kumar sing?
I feel my problem here is that I have a tendency to choose film.
And you will be again?
And I think I will be again. Because when I was thinking about it earlier, I was like, I want to choose the song because I don't usually, but then the film is just too good. That I couldn't. And even though, like you say, I think you do lose a big part of what makes film good if you take away the song. I think ultimately the film would still work with a different song, probably.
If you put Chesney Hawkes, I Am the One and Only in this, well, maybe it wouldn't because it's very singular and it's all about plural, the film, but...
If it was Destiny's Child that walked out.
Yeah.
I mean, that would be too... I think they would be too big, wouldn't they? That would overshadow the film if Destiny's Child walked out.
Good point. It needed to be obscure enough and weird enough.
What if, like, Eternal reformed?
Yes, then that would work.
What if they had Loreen?
Famously not a girl group.
Any opportunity to talk about Loreen?
Again, you'd have the same problem as Destiny's Child, overshadow.
Just overshadow it, yeah. I would take Loreen over the Lord of the Rings trilogy. Euphoria is a greater song than Star Wars is a franchise.
Yeah, that's what you should be asking Hollywood to do. Put that in a film. Get that in a film.
Just make a film called there's a TV show called Euphoria.
There is a TV show called Euphoria. It must be in there. Sure.
Yeah, has the song ever been in that? I've not watched it.
I've seen some of it, and I've never heard the song in it.
What are we even doing here then?
Yeah, I could be listening to Euphoria 50 times over.
Why are we trying to make a hit podcast where they won't even use Euphoria?
Guys, go listen to Euphoria.
I'm picking movie. Ben?
Yes, I do like the song, but, I haven't, until I listened to it again earlier, I have not listened to it for about 9 years, so it'd be weird to think of. I've seen Bridesmaids since then, and enjoyed it since then.
Okay, so that brings us to an end to another episode of that song from that movie. Let us know on Twitter which one you think is better, the movie or the song. Ben, what is our Twitter handle?
At TSFTMPod.
Thank you. So you can help the podcast in many ways, and one of those ways is by sharing this on Reddit. But Alex, what random subreddit should they share it on this week?
I love the thought. Are you flicking your tongue in your mouth?
It's a disgusting sound.
I was flicking
We're
my
losing
tongue.
subscribers every time you do that.
It's ASMR.
It is very ASMR, yeah.
I think it's probably got to be Harold and Kumar, hasn't it?
Yeah, nice.
Yeah, it had to be.
Specifically, Escape to White Castle.
Yes.
Escape to White Castle.
Escape to White Castle, yeah.
No, I want the Harold and Kumar 3 Christmas 3D or whatever it's called. That one.
Very Harold and Kumar Christmas.
That subreddit.
Okay. So you can also help the podcast by leaving a 5-star review wherever you listen to this podcast, buying our merch, or signing up to our Patreon. We actually do have a new Patreon subscriber, so guys, say hi to Emma.
Hello. Thank you, Emma.
All the links to that is in the show notes along with our merch store. So all that's left now is do some goodbyes. So it's goodbye from myself, goodbye, and goodbye from Alex.
What kind of name is Stove anyway? It's more of an appliance.
And goodbye from Ben.
Sugar Babes are number 43.
Ooh, which song?
Freak Like Me.
'Cause I will be a freak until it dawn.
There we go.
So goodbye everybody. Bye.
Bye.
like how much I'm seeing Prince Andrew on the front pages of BBC News.
Did you enjoy the guy shouting at him during the procession today?
No, did they? Good.
I like that, like, the captioned, like, part of it, but then you can kind of see him mouthing the word nonce later on.
Yeah.
Brilliant.
I won't include that in the edit, don't worry.
That's right, clearly.
Okay, yeah, can.
That's the truth.
Okay, well, there you go. That can be the end of it.
Yeah. We don't spout lies.
That could be the ending. Nonce.
Anyway,